Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'd be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peeps, my peoples. Peep Squad is in a building, baby. We're going to the top, and we're going to bring others with us. So let's get it started. Let's talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 12. It's alleged that Apollo and Phaedra Parks will be reuniting on the Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 12, and it's going down like OMG. Apollo hasn't seen his two children and 5 years, and basically he won't be able to see them until Bravo cameras are there actually filming the action and what is actually going on between Phaedra Parks and Apollo. I was like, OMG, this is really going to be a good one. Like, yo, this is crazy. And on top of that, how is Kandi Burruss is going to feel about the situation? Because she said that she would leave the show and she did not want Phaedra Parks back, point blank, period, not whatsoever. And she gave Bravo an ultimatum. You think they're going to go back and bring Phaedra Parks back on the show? This is all rumor. This is all alleged. I don't know if this story is actually true because it's not coming from a reliable source, but it's a source indeed. I was just like, OMG, like, this is crazy. Like, what's really good? What is going on with this situation? Like, wow. And it's just really sad that it had to come to this, because basically Apollo has been saying that he has not been able to see his two children in almost 5 years. Phaedra Parks only brought up the two children to the prison to visit him one time, and that's when Bravo was paying for them to come out and visit too. They pay for the transportation, the whole 9 yards. They pay for everything for Phaedra Park to bring the two children up there to visit, and that's when there was an alleged threat at the prison system or whatever the case may be. So it is what it is. And Apollo also said, recently this week on his IG page, that he says that Phaedra Parks is keeping him away from his two sons, and he has not seen them in 5 years. And why is she doing this to him? And he's feeling a certain type of way, because he said he always just wants to be a good father. He wants to take care of his kids now that he's out and he's free. And it's a whole situation about that. I was just like, OMG, this is just too much. And then we have, Peter Thomas actually talk about the situation too as well.
World, what's up?
I was like, Peter is out here.
I was talking to Apollo last night, and he was expressing some stuff to me. And this afternoon, I got a hit on Michelle Brown from Straight from the A. She sent me a story that she did, and it breaks my heart because like Apollo. While he was locked up, we stay in touch. Yes, he did a crime. And yes, he paid the time. Okay? He did the crime and he paid the time. And he's home. And he was telling me that he haven't seen his sons. Those two beautiful little boys he posted yesterday. You haven't seen them since 2016. It's 2019. He's home. Talked to his ex-wife. He said, yo, I'll pay for them to come and see me in Philly because I can't leave, because he's still on that halfway house thing. He can't leave. But he, every day in jail, all he think about is his two boys. And yeah, no, a lot of y'all trolls gonna say, well, he shouldn't have never did a crime and go to jail and then they'll still be together. No, motherfucker, it didn't work out like that. What it is that he did his time, all right, for the crime that he committed. And he's home. And he want to see his boys. He want to rebuild his life. You know what I'm saying? And they haven't seen their daddy. And I know them boys miss their daddy. You know what I'm saying? Because we all saw how he was with them every time we watched the show. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't taping with them, so when you was looking at it, I was looking at it too, and I loved it. And I remember how he bugged out when he had to go to jail for that 6 years because the one thing he was going to miss the most was his boys. And it hurt me like a motherfucker that he's home and his ex-wife is keeping him from seeing his boys. Trust me, he wouldn't have went public if she wasn't keeping the boys from seeing him. That's fucked up. That's really fucked up. And I was reading, and it says the time when she visit him in jail, it was on Bravo's dime. That shit was recorded for the show. She probably wouldn't have done it if they didn't force her hand to do it. Because I know how that shit works. That's really fucked up. Ain't no good come from bad deeds. Somebody should holler at her and let her know that. You keeping those boys from seeing their dad, some really fucked up shit. But I'm praying for you, Apollo. I know that you guys gonna reunite it. Them boys gonna love the shit out of you like you love the hell out of them. Okay, and you're gonna make a better life for yourself. And anything that I could do to help you, my brother, you know I will. Love you. Peace.
I really just hope that's not true. I hope Phaedra Parks are not keeping their two sons away from Apollo. You know, I can understand if she didn't want to bring him up there to see him in prison, whatever the case may be. She didn't want to tarnish their childhood with going to a prison and bringing her sons in there and the whole 9 yards. I can understand that and maybe how she felt about the situation. But I just really hope that Phaedra Parks is not keeping her two sons away from their father, because that's not right. That's not right. And that's bad juju. That's bad karma. But Phaedra Parks also is on vacation. That's alleged that Phaedra Parks is actually on vacation with her two sons, and that's why Apollo haven't seen them within the last 2 weeks. That is what the story is that's out here in these streets on the internet. So we'll find out if that's actually true. But I was just like, OMG, it's going down like nobody's business. Now, do you guys actually think that Phaedra Parks will keep her two sons away from Apollo? You know, is she mad at him? Or is she upset with him? What is the case? Like, you know, what's really going on with the situation where 5 years has passed and you still upset, you still mad, you still angry, you still holding a grudge? Is it about the money? Is it about the fiance? Is it about him just being locked up and she doesn't think that he's humble enough? I don't know what the case may be, but he is begging to see his sons. This is what Apollo says. But I also said in my first video that I did about, you know, Apollo wanting to see his sons. I hope this is not for a storyline. And here you have it, that Apollo is going to see his sons and meet them for the first time with Bravo cameras there, you know, his reunion with his two sons. I was like, damn. But I guess it's coming around full circle because, you know, the last time we seen Apollo on the show and when he was leaving to go away to prison, you know, it was a tearful. It was just so emotional to see Apollo, to see the two sons, to see Phaedra, and just to see that, you know, he's going to have to say goodbye to his sons and trying to get everything together, and his kids, and feeling sorry for his two sons too as well, that their father that been there ever since they was born is now going to be taken away and be out of their life because of a crime that he did commit or whatever. And that was so emotional, and the cameras was on that storyline, was on the emotions from Apollo, from the two boys, from Phaedra Parks being upset too as well, from Candy Burris to Todd Tucker, to everybody talking about the situation. It was a whole lot of going on over there, for real. And so now it only makes sense for them to be filming a reunion with Apollo meeting his two sons, because we got to think about it. Phaedra Parks and Apollo, for so many years, they lived their life in public. They lived their life on reality TV. So this is something normal to them. We would think like, you know what? I want to meet my sons without the cameras. I just want to have a genuine moment with my two kids. I just want to, and Phaedra, I need to apologize to you. I need to say I'm sorry. How can we make our relationship work? How can we make it better between us so you can trust me with my two sons? Like, you can drop them off and leave them here. And I think maybe that's the question that Phaedra needs to be asked, because maybe Phaedra does not feel comfortable and safe with leaving her two sons with Apollo because she hasn't seen him in 5 years. In 5 years, you change. Things are different, but they did have FaceTime and everything else like that. But no matter what, you don't keep the boys away from their father, especially if he's not hurting them or anything like that. So, but let's get back to the topic. It only makes sense for Bravo to actually film, you know, Apollo reuniting with his two sons, because this is what it is. This is how they live their life, in front of camera. They get paid to live their life in front of the camera. So it is what it is. And actually, Bravo said allegedly that they have they have put on new staff. They have a lot of security. They brought extra insurance because Apollo has a criminal record and they don't know what could possibly happen with the situation. So they have extra security and extra insurance because Apollo does have a criminal background. But doesn't Marlo Hampton have a criminal background? But I guess it's because Apollo just got out of jail. Just got out of prison, or whatever the case may be. So it's going to be crazy. This is a whole new nother storyline to be added to season 12, which, if this storyline is actually added where Apollo meets his two sons, Phaedra Parks is back on the show basically having a meetup with Apollo, doesn't mean that, you know, Candy's going to be involved or Kenya Moore is going to be involved or any of the other housewives are going to be involved in this particular storyline. So we'll see what Candy thinks about the situation. We'll see if the situation is even true. So it is what it is. What do you guys think about this situation? I was like, because we already know Phaedra Parks and Kenya Moore are not friends, and Kenya Moore is not feeling Phaedra Parks at all. Phaedra Parks is not feeling Kenya Moore at all. But it is what it is, and it seems like Apollo might be added into the storyline. I mean, not Apollo. Peter Thomas might be added into the storyline because he's been doing a lot of. He did two IG videos, and he has posted on Instagram about Phaedra Parks not allowing her two sons or their two sons to visit their father Apollo. So this is going to be interesting if they actually intertwine this into season 12, and makes sense to do it. But there's emotions involved in the situation as far as Candy Burris, for real. And Phaedra Parks said with Daily Mail she's not close to the option of being back on Real Housewives of Atlanta. She doesn't oppose it at all. And we know Apollo's out here cutting hair. And you know what? He's probably want them Bravo checks back too as well. And if he can, take out two birds with one stone, why not? He get to see his children, and he get to put money in his pocket too as well. You know what I mean? And probably a good amount of money. And it's also alleging that Phaedra Parks is going to be paid really good. She's going to be paid really good to come back on the show. So you guys tell me what you think about the situation. I have no idea if this actually is true, that Apollo and Phaedra Parks are going to be back on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And it's going to be an emotional reunion between Phaedra Parks, Apollo, and his two sons. And also Apollo's fiance is going to be on the show too. And Apollo's fiance is very cool with Candy and Todd Tucker. So there is a storyline there. Then you can add Peter back in, because Peter's always talking about the housewives, so he wants to be in the mix. It is what it is. Peace and out. Much love to all my peeps and my peoples.